It's raining tacos from out of the sky.
Yar! Ahoy, mateys! Hello, boys and girls. This salty sea air feeling can only mean one of two things. Either I'm lost in the ocean somewhere, or it's time to read another story. My story today is called The Bookshop Dog, and it's kind of a romantic story. Yeah, I know. I have to throw one of these in every now and then. Alright, it's a love story. The Bookshop Dog. It was written and illustrated by Cynthia Rylance. Once there was a woman who loved her dog so much she could hardly bear to be away from her. The woman took her dog to the park, and she also took her dog to the market. She even took her dog to the dentist, and of course, she took her dog to work. The woman was a bookshop owner. When she first opened her shop, she called it Read It and Reap. It was known by this name for many, many years. Then she got her dog, who she named Martha Jane. And she loved the dog so much that she changed the name of the shop to honor her dog. It was called Martha Jane's Bookshop. And of course, Martha Jane was there every day. Naturally, some people got things a little confused because they did not know that Martha Jane was a dog. When a new salesman came by selling books, he would say, "I am selling books. May I speak with Martha Jane?" The bookshop owner would laugh with delight and say, "Of course you may," and the salesman would find himself shaking hands with a dog. Sometimes people would call Martha Jane's bookshop on the phone. They would want advice about a book. They would say, "Can I please speak with Martha Jane concerning a mystery book that I'm looking for?" Well, the woman who owned the shop would look over at Martha Jane, who was chewing on a rubber telephone at that very moment, and she would say, "I'm sorry, Martha Jane can't take your call right now. She's on another line. May I help you instead?" The caller would find his mystery book, though he really wished he had spoken directly to Martha Jane. But after a while, everyone understood who really owned the bookshop, and they stopped calling Martha Jane for advice about good romance novels. But that doesn't mean they stopped asking for Martha Jane. Oh no, Martha Jane was such a good dog, such a sweet dog, that now people came into the bookshop looking first for her, and second for books. They all loved her. Even the men got all mushy. One big man in a green coat would come in once a week and kneel down and pet Martha Jane's smooth head and kiss her warm white face and tell her what an angel she was. He always brought a beefy bone for her, and he sat on the floor and petted her as she ate. When he left, Martha Jane watched him from the window. The postman taught Martha Jane to fetch the mail. The policeman taught her to stand at attention, and the band director taught her to sing. He would come into the bookshop with his harmonica, and the two would make beautiful music together. The whole town loved Martha Jane, and the bookshop business was very, very good. But then one day, the woman who owned the bookshop became very ill with a sore throat. She would have to go to the hospital to have her tonsils removed. Even though she insisted on taking Martha Jane everywhere she went, the hospital said no dogs allowed in the hospital, no matter how sweet and good they are. So the poor woman would have to go to the hospital all by herself, and she would have to find someone else to take care of Martha Jane. She did not know who to ask. But as soon as the policeman heard that Martha Jane needed a sitter, he came by to the shop with his lights flashing and his siren on. As soon as the postman heard it, he came wheeling around the corner in his Jeep. When the band director found out, he marched the entire high school band, which had been practicing at the football field, to the front door of Martha Jane's bookshop. And several children dragged their parents to the shop with dog toys and bags of dog food. Everyone wanted Martha Jane for the week. Things got a little nasty. The policeman told the postman to take his junk mail and stuff it down his pants. The postman told the band director to go blow his horn. The band director blew his horn right into the policeman's ear. Some of the children swatted each other with their bags of dog food. Just as if it looked that everyone might have to go to the hospital and no one would be able to take care of Martha Jane, the big man in the green coat walked through the crowd. He had a beefy bone in his hand. He knelt down beside Martha Jane and stroked her smooth head and kissed her warm white face and told her what an angel dog she was. At the sound of his voice, everyone grew quiet, and only Martha Jane's crunchings could be heard. Martha Jane had made her choice. The bookshop woman's hospital stay went very well. She got 20 boxes of candy from devoted customers, and she read 10 new spy thrillers. But she missed her dog. When finally the woman was well and returned to her shop, Martha Jane was sitting at the window wearing a big yellow bow and smelling like a flower garden. She had waited for the woman all week long, and when Martha Jane saw the woman coming, she leapt to the floor, ran to the door, and covered the woman's faces with dog kisses. The woman found out that the man in the green coat had painted her mailbox, dusted her shelves, washed her windows, swept her floor, but most importantly, had loved her dog. Things worked out quite happily after that. The postman eventually forgave the policeman, who forgave the band director, and all the children made up too. The woman and the big man in the green coat liked each other so much that they got married. Martha Jane went with them on the honeymoon, of course. She loved going to Hawaii. And that, boys and girls, is the end of the Bookshop Dog. So you see, it was romantic and it was nice, but it wasn't too mushy and terrible, was it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing this story as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. I hope everybody is staying safe, keeping your hands washed, and helping out at home. Once again, if you're having trouble finding some of my earlier videos, you can check out my YouTube channel made especially for you guys. The name of the channel is Library Class at Home with Mr. S. Just type that into YouTube and you'll find all the videos I made for you guys. All right, thank you very much again, and check me out tomorrow. I'll have some different stories for you. Until then, I'll see you next time.
Yum, 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 yum. It's like